Hello there, Sev here from Three Counties Motorhomes. Welcome to the video guide for this model of Dometic fridge freezer that you see here. Now there can be slightly different layouts to this, but it's generally any sort of fridge freezer that has a energy source dial here that will have the different energy sources you can select. There will be the cooling intensity dial that doubles as a gas valve and an igniter push button, alongside some form of visual gauge to see the gas ignition process. So, like I say, this can vary. It can be a different colour, of course, and the controls can be slightly different setup. Sometimes I've seen this be over here on this side, but this video will be applicable to any that have this general control setup. So the unit is very easy to use. Of course, as mentioned at the start, we have the energy selection here and the cooling intensity here. With regards to the cooling intensity, the further round clockwise you go, i.e. to the larger indicated segments, the cooler the unit is going to get. Now on the energy selection, we have at the top here off. We then have a plug symbol for mains electric. So if we are hooked up to mains electric, then we can use that on this setting to power the fridge freezer. Now we then have the 12 volt position, which is indicated by a battery. Now you must not let this confuse you. This will never draw, or shouldn't draw, from a battery, either your leisure or your vehicle battery. This symbol is merely to indicate 12 volt energy selection, which typically comes from batteries, but it is not actually going to draw from your battery. The 12 volt source of power that your fridge freezer should look for is that from the engine's alternator. So when your engine is running, it supplies this fridge freezer with 12 volt power, and that is so that it can maintain the temperature on the road. And then the last setting is gas at the 6 o'clock position. Now, before explaining how to use the gas, I just want to be clear, of course, with regards to the 12 volt operation, that is the secondary way of running your fridge freezer. The primary way is gas or electric power. Those are the only two fuel sources that are powerful enough and correct enough to be able to cool this unit down as it is intended. Okay, so that's what you should be using. Now, the 12 volt mode is only for when you are on the road, but it is not going to be strong enough or powerful enough to cool the unit down. It is only going to be capable of maintaining the temperature that's already been achieved inside. Okay, so moving on again. Now we've selected gas here. But unfortunately, it's not as simple as the other two options, you're just selecting them with the dial. We do now have to do an ignition process, and that's going to combine the rest of the controls. Now, first of all, we have an igniter here, which if we press in, I don't know if you can hear that on camera, but there is a repeated clicking, and that's the igniter firing, trying to ignite the gas flame. We have the gas valve here, which is this dial, but instead of turning it, we push it in, and that will introduce gas. And then we have the indicator here. Now, on this indicator, we have two zones, a white and a green zone, and then an orange line. And when we successfully ignite the gas, this orange line is going to move from the white into the green, at which point it should keep itself lit. So what we're going to do is we're going to press and hold the igniter first, then we're going to press in and hold the gas control, and that will introduce gas. When we hear the gas ignite, which can sometimes be audible for some units, we will let go of the igniter, or if we start seeing the needle move, that's an indicator that the gas is lit, so we don't need the igniter anymore, but we will keep the gas held down, and we will wait for the orange line to go into the green before we let go of all the controls. So it'll be like this. I heard that light pretty instantly, so I'm letting go of the igniter. I'm now looking at the orange line as it slowly creeps its way across into the green zone. And when I can see that it's comfortably in the green zone, which it is now, I'm going to let go of the gas control, and it keeps itself there in the green zone quite happily, and it should make its way across a little bit further as it settles down. But there we go. And that is how we use the gas control. Very, very simple and easy. Now, one thing you can do as well is if you're unsure if your gas is successfully lit or if the igniter is firing and you can't hear it from here, oftentimes you can hear it from outside of the fridge freezer vents. That can sometimes be a bit easier to do. But there we go, that's simply it. Now, if you find there are some issues getting it lit, the electrical position here, so basically when you turn this dial, it makes a contact electrically. Sometimes that contact can get a little bit questionable, so what you can do is you can turn the dial a few times or just give it a wiggle in that position, and that sometimes just helps make a better contact and the ignition process will work. Of course, before trying to light your fridge freezer, you must also make sure you do have gas and that your gas is turned on properly and all that sort of stuff. But assuming you've done all of that, then sometimes this electrical contact in this dial can be problematic, so you can give that a wiggle. But that's basically it. Now, to turn off, all we do is turn off from the gas position here on the dial. You'll see the needle is turned away, and that is it. It's as easy as that. And that's how to use this style of Dometic fridge freezer. I'm Sev, and I hope you found this video useful, and thank you very much for watching.